Hi Tony, I thought I'd just drop a quick video just to show you, well, what I think you're after. I'm not exactly sure without actually seeing the images and seeing what you're doing. But this is just a quick video on how I would like blur this background a bit more. So if this was my main subject that I didn't want to blur, then what I'll try and do is extract it. And I'll do that with this one. This time I'll use the quick selection tool, or you could use the magic wand tool, or you could use the direct selection tool and cut it out, but you need to create a selection. And I'm going to go in, I'm going to use my square brackets just to make that brush a bit smaller, and then I'm going to try and select all the flower. And it's a pretty good tool this, because there's plenty of contrast here. Against the green it's not so good, but that's not a bad extraction. And I'll do the stem as well, and we'll do these leaves. We'll say we don't want those to be out of focus. And there's a little bit of green here, so I'm just going to hold the Alt key down and click in there, because I don't want that green. I just want the yellow, and then I'll just click to put the yellow back. So by hook or by crook, you make a selection of the item that you don't want to be blurrier. And then we'll go to select and modify. I'm not sure where this is in CS2 because it's so long ago, but there is a feather command, and I'm going to click on that, and I'm just going to put one pixel of feather in just to soften this edge a little bit here. And then I'm going to jump that to a new layer with Control and J. And you can see in the layers panel now it's put that flower on its own layer. And now I'm going to click back on the background layer, and I'll duplicate the background layer again, so I'm not working on the background layer itself. So now this is the layer that I'm going to blur, and I'll just rename it blur so we can see. And I'll click on it to make sure it's active. And then I'll go to my filter menu, and I'll go down to blur, and I'll select Gaussian blur. And then I can play around here with how blurry do I want the background. Now the blurrier you have the background, the more of a halo you're going to get round, which we'll have to mask out in a second. But if you want it just a little bit blurrier, so you can go to really, really blurry, or you can just pick where you need to be. So if you click OK, and then this blur layer is now a little bit blurrier. So if I turn that off, you can see it's a little bit blurrier. If you decide it's not blurry enough, then what you'll have to do is go to Edit and step backward. That will undo it, and then do the blur again. So I'll go to Filter and Blur and Gaussian Blur, and I'll just make it a little bit blurrier, and then click OK. So that's probably achieved what I wanted to achieve. It's blurred the background and left this alone, but because I'm now blurring this flower behind the flower, I've got some yellow pixels that are blurring out behind the flower. So what I'm going to try and do now, I'll put a mask on this blur layer. So I'll come down to the mask icon, put a mask on. I need a paintbrush. So I'm going to select my brush tool, and I'm going to make sure that black is my foreground colour. And all I'm going to try and do, I'll get a slightly smaller brush, is just paint away or mask away this little halo area around the edge, around the outside of the flower. It's just where the blur's extending out beyond the confines of the flower. And I'll just mask that away, because it'll just crispen up that edge by taking away that blurriness right up at the edge there. That's better, and we'll do it round the leaf as well, and we'll go down the stem and round this leaf, and there we are, back again. So that's a quick way that I would think of blurring a background, by taking an object out of it. So we've separated the flower from the background, we've blurred a layer, which is the background, a copy of the background layer, and then we've masked out any little edges that come out due to the fact that we've actually blurred the flower on the layer above it. Hope that helps. I'll see you in one of my next videos, hopefully. Bye for now.